Hello, welcome to my channel. I hope you enjoyed today's video. I've decided to paint delphiniums. I've never done it before, so it'll be a new experience for all of us. And I think they actually turned out quite well for a first attempt anyway. So if you enjoyed the video, please give me a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button. That helps my channel grow. It's all free. And thank you very much for watching. Here we go. For my palette, I added titanium white, primary yellow, raw sienna, raw umber, French ultramarine blue, sap green, alizarin crimson, and later I added a hot pink, can't remember the name of it, a violet blue, and cadmium red light. Delphiniums are rather a fun flower to look at. I looked at lots of them. I Google imaged delphiniums and found the whole stem of the flower varies quite a lot in colour. So I thought rather than sort of mixing some colours, I'd just throw in some extra pre-mixed things that you can buy when you're painting with acrylics, and you have to mix if you're painting with oils. So the first thing I'm doing is painting my background. The top 2/3 will be French ultramarine blue and some titanium white, and I'll also use primary yellow. And the bottom third will be raw sienna with some raw umber and maybe some alizarin crimson thrown in for a tabletop. While the paint is wet, you get a mixing of colour, which is something I like to do. It especially works well with oils, but you can get that with acrylics while it's still wet. And the primary yellow and the ultramarine blue have mixed to give me a pale green. And when I add titanium white, it takes it from transparent colour to opaque. I like my background to be well blended. I prefer whatever I'm painting, the flowers that I'm painting, the vase, to sit on top of a blended background. It makes them the star of the show. I'm going to use raw sienna to begin my tabletop, but I will add raw umber and some alizarin crimson in there as well. And there will be a reflection from the vase sitting on the table, and I try to get as many colours into the tabletop as I can. I think it makes it more interesting than just a plain wooden table. I'm using a liner brush, sometimes called a rigger, to sketch in my delphinium stems and the vase. I'm sketching in 5 stems. I like to work with odd numbers. I think it's more interesting to the eye. And you probably won't see much of the stems in the finished picture, and I might be doing this vase a little large, but that doesn't matter either. Everything gets adjusted as I go along. I do the outline in raw sienna, but you won't see much of that colour in the final painting. it sort of disappears. It's a nice neutral, it disappears under the rest of the painting. I'm mixing sap green and primary yellow, and I'm going to put on the top little unopened buds of the flowers that you see when you look at delphinium stems. You also get colour on those, and I'll apply that later on, but this gives me the basic outline of the flower to start off with. I'm using straight titanium white now to add to my vase. The vase, being reflective, picks up colours from the tabletop. It will pick up colour from whatever is in the vase. In this case, delphiniums. Whatever you put in the vase, some of that colour will be in the glass. And it all adds interest to the painting, so don't ever be afraid to add a little extra colour in reflective tabletops or vases or silver or whatever you're painting. To get a good rendition of glass, you have to make it transparent. So you have to be able to see the tabletop through it. You have to be able to see the wall behind it and these stems going into it. So you can't hide those. Otherwise, you just have a ceramic vase or whatever colour you're painting. So you must leave enough of the background to make that glass look reflective and transparent. I'm making this vase shorter, and I don't worry too much about the top. That will be hidden by the petals on the lower part of the stems, and you won't even see the top of that vase by the time I've finished. I'm working on a larger canvas panel than usual, and I can't quite get the corners in, but I think you can see enough of the painting for it to make sense. I'm going to work on the florets, the separate florets, and they are many petaled. I wasn't able to work out how many petals each had. They are in groups of 5, but beyond that I couldn't tell you. They seem to be layered and very translucent and fluttery looking. So I'm using a round brush, quite a large one, with a good point on it, and I'm just putting on groups of 5 petals, and I'm just putting on what I call a mid-tone, a sort of mid-range colour, and I'll go over that and reinforce those florets with other deeper or lighter shadow or highlight colours, and not perhaps totally the same colour that I put on originally. With the blues, I saw some violet in with the blue flowers, and with the pink delphiniums there were some sort of red undertones and paler pink and even orange highlights. So this is going to be fun to paint for anyone, because you can really virtually do what you like and it will come out looking like a delphinium with any luck. I'm just saying. I'm mixing in some titanium white with the alizarin crimson, and I'm going over those green buds that I put on. Generally you see a touch of green and a paler version of the actual flower before it comes out, before it fully opens. I've added some pink to the glass because it will catch the flower in the reflection. I'm pulling the petals in from the outer edge in toward the center, and there will be sort of some fluffy stamens in the middle of this, and I'll show you how I put those on later. But I finished the main petals first before I go back and put in the stamens. Using the same round, I'm putting in some greenery. Now, to be absolutely honest, these may not be true delphinium leaves, but they're green, and so that makes them sort of leaf-like. And because the leaves will be reflected in the glass, I'm putting green on the vase as well. The flowers have mostly covered the top of the vase, so we don't see that anymore. Here's where I make a huge mistake. I put reflected light, which I've mixed up French ultramarine blue and titanium white to a pale blue, and I've put it on the side that the light is actually coming from, and it should be on the other side. And I've done that before. I don't know why I do that. It's because I haven't really thought about things. And then I've gone to put my brightest light on the shadow side of the vase. Don't ask me why I do that, but learn from my mistakes. Okay, so here's where I use the extra colours that I brought in, the hot pink, the violet blue and the cad red light, and it will add a lot of interest to the flowers, and it will add a few highlights and shadows. For my highlight I usually use titanium white, and I like to put it on while the paint is still wet so that it mixes a little bit. So the paint is still wet, and I'm adding straight titanium white, and it will blend with the blue or the pink or whatever I put it on while it's still wet. It's harder for me to paint with acrylics than it is with water mixable oils. I find the oils so much easier, and I enjoy the mixing of the paint right on the canvas. But you can do it. You just have to paint quite fast, which luckily I do. I'm not adding colour to every single petal, I'm just sort of doing little blobs here and there. It's just where I think the light might be catching it. I had a little too much water in my brush, but it's okay, just use paper towel to wipe. I'm getting to the point where I have to sit down and have a cup of tea and just look at my painting for a few minutes to see what I need to do next, or where I need to add finishing touches. I am putting a reflection on the table, on the wrong side of course. Hey, that's just how this painting is going, and it takes me a while to figure out reflections. I usually add colors, wipe colors out, add more color, and eventually it'll get to a point that I think it's right. I'm using a dry flat to drag the paint downward. Sometimes I drag it to the side. Blending it into the glass makes the glass look more glass-like. And as you can see, I've decided the light is coming from one direction on my flowers and the opposite direction on my vase. I will do this painting again and try and get it more consistent. pulling the brush strokes around the vase add to the dimension, the quality of dimension to the vase, as well as allowing the background to be seen in the vase. It all adds to that glassiness of a glass vase. I've added sap green to the stems to try and get them to balance with the rest of the painting, and I will add a touch of light here and there to them just to make them rounder. I'm using a scruffy old brush and some sap green and primary yellow, and I'm pouncing in the centers of the flowers, where the stamens, I suppose, they're very, if you look at a photograph of delphiniums, they're very sort of fluffy in the center, and I don't want to paint each stamen individually, so I'm just sort of pouncing in a mid-tone green, and then I'll add a highlight to that afterwards. I've added a little yellow and some titanium white, and I changed my brush out for a bristle brush, and I'm pouncing that over the top to give a highlight to those stamens. I think the glass vase actually turned out better than I thought. The reflection on the table is on the wrong side, and I will attempt this again because I really enjoyed painting these delphiniums. Maybe I'll do 3 next time, and maybe I'll use 50-cent paints from Walmart to see how they turn out. I think that would be interesting. I think it actually turned out quite well. I'm pleased with that. I think the glass looks glassy. I think the delphiniums look bright and fluffy and fun, and I might have done better with the reflection, but heck, you know, I'll do it better next time. So I had fun painting it. I hope you enjoyed this little video, and hopefully learn from my mistakes. And I think it turned out quite well, all things considered. And thank you very much for watching, and please help my channel grow by giving me a thumbs up. Hit the subscribe button if you'd like to see more of my videos, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.